right. Greetings. Welcome to the Weekly Awakening, another episode. And today we're going to dive deeper into the universal language of mind. And today we're going to focus on death and what death symbolizes in a dream. So, normally I have like little bullet points to keep me on topic, but today's all about transformation, all about change. The nature of the physical is change. The nature of the mind is motion. So we're going to keep in motion and keep with the changes and keep moving like that. So first of all, as always, I want to just talk about what dreams are. And your dreams are essentially they are messages to you from your inner self, from your inner teacher. They're going to reflect back to you how you're using your mind. And that's going to be the message contained therein, which will give you more insight into being more aware of yourself. Listening to your dreams will allow you to become more self-aware, which will put you in more conscious control of how you are creating your reality, whether you're creating that consciously or unconsciously, because the universal truth, as you sow, so shall you reap, or, as you think, so you become, it's a truth within many holy scriptures, within many cultures. It's universal. It applies to everyone, everywhere, all the time. So, if our thoughts create our reality, and our dreams are conveying to us the thoughts that we are having that are manifesting in our life, then you can see why it's important to pay attention to your dreams so that you can be more in control of how you are creating your life. That way you can more consciously create your life and yourself and your reality versus allowing it to just unconsciously manifest based upon the unconscious thoughts that you have or beliefs that you hold. And so that's what we want to look at is the reason why we want to pay attention to our dreams. Primarily, your dreams are in the universal language of mind. Now, it is, some people, try to say, the universal language is math, but that is the language of this physical universe, but the universal language of the mind, meaning all of our minds universally speak in this language. It's a language of images, because we all think in images. If you go to tell someone a story of how your day went, in your mind, your thoughts are the images that you see with your mind, and your words are describing those images to you. That person then receives those words and then uses those words to formulate their own image, which is creating their own thoughts based upon what you're sharing and conveying to them. So, we all, are driving down the road, daydreaming and things, but really it's the thoughts that we're thinking. And, if we're present, then, we're there. But otherwise, if we're going within our mind, we're thinking those thoughts. So you think in images. And so by understanding the meaning of those images, which they all hold universal meaning, like the sun, for instance. I think there was a video about to release, and been kind of focused on getting this book out, which is finally fully ready for pre-launch. Ebooks have been ready for a week, but the paperback's finally ready. So I've been focused on that. So I haven't been able to get that book or that video on light in the universal language of mind. But now that the book's complete, we'll get focused on that. And by this time next week, the video on the universal language of mind describing what light is, we'll share it to you. So light is universal. All of us see light, no matter what language we speak, no matter what part of the globe we are on. Light is going to provide us with more awareness of our surroundings. We'll be more aware of what's going on around us. And so universally, light symbolizes awareness. No matter what language you speak, whatever word you use for the word light or the word awareness, light is going to represent the exact same thing. So within our dreams, light will represent awareness, because the universal language of mind is a language of form and function. What is the form and how does it function? The form is light, and it functions as providing us with awareness. And then you relate that to the mind or the self. And so awareness, inner awareness, mental awareness, that's what light will symbolize. The sun is the greatest form of light that we have available to us. So the greatest level of awareness that we have available to us is the superconscious awareness. And so that's what a sun will represent. And so these are the, the little brief description of, that we think in thoughts are images. And so understanding those images within the universal language of mind, a language of forms and function, understanding the form and the function, how it relates to the self, is kind of how you will arrive to being able to interpret the dreams. So with that, each week we're here going a little bit deeper so that you can practice and understand a little bit more the universal language of mind. We've gone over money, people, places, work. We've gone over, this week we're going over death. Next week we're going to go over numbers, because there was a bear in your dream. Was there 3 bears, 2 bears, 5 bears? To understand the different things. A table represents stability because the number 4 represents stability. A table has 4 legs, which provides it stability. If it had 2 legs, it wouldn't be very stable. And you can understand the different numbers represent different things in a dream. So, but today we're going to talk about death. And so, like I said, with the universal language of mind, you want to look at the form, which for us is death, and then you will want to look at its function. What is the function of death? Well, death is a transformation from one form into another. Because I don't really know of many people who don't believe that death brings about transformation. Even most atheists believe that, I guess most of them believe that you just cease to exist, absolutely nothing happens. But even a lot, I guess agnostics then believe that you then, your energy moves into some other form. So you do move into another form, and that's what occurs essentially is a transformation. And so how does that relate to the self? It's an inner transformation. So death in your dream is going to represent how you are transformed. Because like I've always said, every person, place, or thing in a dream is a part of yourself. So all the people in your dreams, all the things in your dreams are parts of you. So if those things are dying, then it represents transformation, then it's these parts of yourself that are transforming. And so, we'll first start off with the most broad and basic and common form of death in a dream, which is someone trying to kill you. As children, many of us have had this dream. I know I had this dream a lot of times as a child and even as an adult, early on before I really got into interpreting my dreams. But, someone chasing after you or trying to kill you, or you're afraid you're going to die, essentially, if every person, place, or thing in a dream is a part of ourself, then whatever it is that's chasing us or trying to kill us or threatening to kill us is a part of ourself. Then it's something that we're running from. And we're not wanting to face it in fear that it is going to change who we are, or it's going to transform us into something else. And most people, it's something that you're unaware of. Most people, things that you're unaware of is what you're afraid of the most. Along with awareness and unawareness, light and dark. When you walk into a room that's pitch black, a lot of people are afraid of that. Not because, I was just in the room, so I know nothing's in there. However, since I can't see it and I'm unaware of it, my imagination starts going and I'm afraid. And for some people, it can even be a crippling fear. But we're often afraid of what we don't know or what we don't understand. And that's because there's an unawareness attached to that. And that's what we're afraid of, is not being able to be aware of it, to be able to understand what it is, to know what's going on, and to be more in control of what we're experiencing. And so within a dream, the way that reflects is, by not being aware of someone that's chasing after you, it is going to reflect how there's a part of yourself that you're not too aware of or you're afraid to face that is chasing after you. And you're afraid that it's going to change who you are. So, for instance, I used to, before I started meditating all the time and getting into metaphysics and working with my dreams, I'm a Taurus bull. I used to be hot-headed, and it wouldn't take much to get me angry. But it wasn't very often that would happen, because I'm a pretty, easygoing guy. I like to laugh, like to make other people laugh, like to enjoy myself and have fun. However, if any offense was intended, I quickly took offense. But it usually had to be intended, but it was quick to get me. Once I started to get angry, I went to 10. And most people nowadays can't even imagine me being like that. But I was very confrontational and abrasive whenever it initiated. But because I'm such a kind-hearted person naturally, and a nice person, and like to just enjoy myself and have fun, I never really identified as being that way, even though I could become that way if provoked. And so because of that, I never wanted to, whenever something would happen and it would cause me to be like that, afterwards I would kind of just dismiss it as, oh, that person made me react like that. That situation caused me to be like that. That's not who I really am. But that is who I really was. I really was this person. And especially in that moment, I was truly that person, but I didn't want to face it. I didn't want to acknowledge it. So even up until 25, 26, I would often have dreams of, whenever things like that would happen, I would have dreams of walking down the street, turn the corner, and here comes three guys running up real quick, bam, 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 shoot me in the chest, and then I would wake up all of a sudden, like, and it was a dream that something that because I didn't know the guy, so I'm unfamiliar with that part of myself. I don't really identify because I don't recognize them. So the face is all about identity. And if it's someone you don't recognize, it's ways that you don't identify as yourself. You aren't able to identify that, or you're not aware of it. So I don't really identify in that way. But hey, Drew, how's it going? That has been a long time. Great to hear from you. I was thinking about you the other day. And but so if I don't identify that part of myself, then it's going to represent how I am not wanting to identify this part of myself that has the tools to change who I am. Because if I allow that, very aggressive or confrontational part of myself to, happen too often and take over, then slowly, because what you put your attention on grows, so slowly that can evolve into who I become. If it happens often enough and I allow it to persist, then that can influence who I naturally am throughout the day. Just end up becoming a miserly, old, angry, bitter old man, and so, no, we all can picture either through, the people we've seen or people we know, a bitter, grumpy old man, but I ain't never seen a bitter, grumpy little baby that's always like that. But I've seen an old man or an old woman who's like bitter and grumpy. But how do they progress from one to the other? They naturally evolve into that. And so I didn't identify that way, and I wasn't like that, but it could have changed who I was for me to transform into that. Because the gentle, soft baby, eventually transforms into different types of people. And so who are we transforming into? Like I said, the nature of the physical is change. So you're always changing. Your relationships are always changing. Who you are is always changing. How your experiences are always changing. There is no such thing as time. We're all stuck in the ever evolving present moment. So it's this present moment that's always changing. Everything is always evolving and changing. But it's all about how you move along with that change. Are you consciously in control of how you are changing, or are you just allowing yourself to change based upon the unconscious thoughts and beliefs that enter your mind? And so for me, in that time of my life, it was very eye-opening. And when I first started writing down my dreams, a lot of my dreams had to do with death. I remember, when I went to learn about this, my teacher, I came into class. It was like our third classroom, and every week we would talk about dreams at the end of class. And everybody would always, it was like the fourth class, because the second and third class, everybody was always excited to hear about my dream because I'd have these epic, wild dreams. And the night before I went into this classroom, I had a dream that it was kind of very similar, where like these three guys walk around the corner and they go to shoot me, and a very dream that I had before that I was telling you about. But this time I turned the corner and those guys are there and they shoot me, but I just look down and realize it doesn't affect me, laugh at them, take the gun out of their hand, and then I shoot each of them. And I woke up and I was like, whoa, that was a crazy dream. I've never killed anybody in a dream. I've often been like shot at, or people trying to kill me, but I've never killed anybody in a dream. And so then we would go to this classroom, and there's these other classmates there, and none of them really know me. None of them even knew I existed more than 4 weeks ago. My teacher, he doesn't know me. And this is a place of like peace and meditation and mindfulness and all that going on. There's some sage, the aroma of sage still in the air. There's some crystals on the windowsill, and it's all about peace and love, and harmony. And I'm like, I can't tell these people about my dream. And then it comes, the end of class comes, and it's time to tell everybody about the dreams that we had. And then everybody shares a dream. And they looked at me like, oh, share your dream. I'm like, I don't got a dream this week. Like, yeah, right. You don't got a dream. You always talk about dreams. You always have epic dreams. Share your dream. I'm like, all right. So I keep my head low, and I tell them the dream about these guys come around the corner and shoot at me, and I take the gun from them and shoot at them and kill them. And I look up, thinking everybody's going to think I'm some crazy psycho and never want to come back or never want me to come back. But my teacher's just there with a big smile because, in the previous weeks I talked about dreams were like people trying to kill me and things. And he was like, that's a beautiful dream. I'm like, it is? And he was like, yeah, because, you just explained to me, death symbolizes transformation. And in the previous dreams, these parts of myself that I'm unaware of were trying to change me, whereas just unconsciously I become angry and aggressive. And by doing that, it has the power to change who I am. Whereas now I had been spending 4 weeks at this point, writing down my dreams, paying attention to them. I wouldn't wait till class. Honestly, I would call my teacher up almost every single morning and just talk to him about my dream from the night before. So every day I was working on understanding what my dreams were saying to me, and then going out throughout the day and applying the message to it, or trying to, throughout the day. And so I was changing who I was. I had just started meditating that very week. And so I was meditating every day for the last 7 days. And so I was taking control because a weapon is a tool. It's a tool to kill people. So in the dream, it is a tool for change. And we all have different tools of change. Positive thinking is a tool for change. Meditation is a tool for change. Breath is a tool for change. Like I've shared before, the long breath, taking long, slow, deep breaths, longer breaths and longer breaths, slower breaths and slower breaths. And what that does is any unproductive or unwanted or negative emotion has to dissipate. Scientifically, it has to dissipate when you're breathing like this. So breath is a tool for change. You can change and alter your state of mind just through this breathing exercise. So breath is a tool for change. We have many different tools for change. Dreams interpretation, that's a huge tool for change. It's a tool to allow you to change who you are. So in that dream, it was, yes, there are these parts of myself that have the power to change me, and at times they do present themselves and make themselves known and present. But in that moment, I took control of the tool for change, and I changed those parts of myself. And I mean, ever since then, I've never been nothing like that anymore. Oftentimes I remember just like a month or so after, I had an argument with a friend, and it's an argument, we would always just argue about different things, like, like I remember one time he came into work talking about reality is all a matter of 100% of perspective. Your perspective is your reality. And I didn't really catch what he was saying. So I was, coming at it from a different angle, and we were just arguing, pretty much talking about the same thing, just in two different ways. And that would happen all the time. Well, this day we're just arguing about Tim Tebow of all things. And, or no, Mark Sanchez and the Jets. And I mean, it was a long time ago when he actually played. But we were arguing about something so trivial. And he looks at me and he says, "Man, you're an idiot." And normally, before I started meditating and everything and changed my way of being in this way, I would have been very, I'm an idiot. And I would have just attacked him back. Something, it would just went nowhere. But I looked at him and I said, you know what? You might be right. So I'm gonna walk away from here. I'm going to think about what you said. And if you are right, I'm going to come back and let you know and thank you. And if you're wrong, I'll come back and share with you what the conclusion that I've come to. And I just saw it right there in that moment, in his mind. He just looked and was shook. Like, this isn't how I thought that this was supposed to go. I was supposed to call you an idiot. You were supposed to call me a dummy. And then I come up with something else. He just had this confused look. Ever since then, we never argued about anything I ever said after that. He was very open to it and received it. I mean, it completely transformed our whole relationship and friendship. I don't think we've ever argued or bantered at all on anything since. And so since that very moment, but it was because I had taken the tool for change, and I had killed that part of myself that's very confrontational, you know. And shortly after that, I had another dream where I confronted that, but I think I've talked about that before also, but this was a different experience of a similar thing, because I had a lot of dreams like that where I would kill this confrontational part of myself in the dream, because it was a huge transformational time for me to go from being very bullheaded and aggressive and confrontational when the moment presented itself, to being very at ease and at peace and being in a state of understanding, because like in that moment, more than being right or wrong, I just wanted to understand, and so when he presented that to me, it made me very well aware of and understood myself more. It wasn't 2 days later that I was at another friend's house, and again we were arguing about sports. It was I think it was like playoff time in the NBA, and everybody was arguing. I looked at my friends. I said, man, LeBron James never let you sleep on his couch. Kobe Bryant, he ain't never let you borrow $20. Carmelo Anthony, he never gave you a ride to work or anywhere. So why are we arguing with each other because over these people that don't even know us, let alone have the ability to care about us, because they don't even know we exist? And, for that night, they all sat there like, oh, yeah, you're right. But then the very next night, they're back to arguing. But for me, it brought me to this level of understanding because of the conversation that I had previously of the guy pointing to me and calling me an idiot, whereas if I would have, just been my normal confrontational self, that would have all went past me. But I realized he was right. I was an idiot. I am an idiot to get so heated and expel so much energy and emotion based upon things that have absolutely no effect upon my life whatsoever, or upon the life of the people that I'm speaking to whatsoever. So I was an idiot. It just took him to be able to unconsciously perceive it and tell me about it. So that's kind of a basic understanding of what death symbolizes in a dream. So I mean, if any of you have ever had someone try to kill you in a dream, or was afraid somebody was trying to kill you, or you killed somebody else in a dream, or maybe it was an animal died in your dream, feel free to share it. We can talk about it. But essentially, that's what was occurring, is that it was some sort of inner transformation that you are going through, because your dreams are reflections of how you're using your mind the day or two before, because it's very immediate. Because with dreams, what's essentially occurring is your consciousness is moving into the subconscious division of the mind, which are the inner levels of your mind. And so when you move into the subconscious mind, you're able to look around, and the things that you see around are the thoughts that you have. Because like I said, thoughts are images. So you move your consciousness into the subconscious mind. So as you look around, you're observing your subconscious mind. And the duty of the subconscious mind is to fulfill the desires of the conscious mind, because the conscious mind thinks a thought, thinks an image, whether it's consciously thought of or not, plants it like a seed into the mental level, which is the highest level of the subconscious mind, and then that seed sprouts and grows as it manifests and becomes manifest into the physical out here in the physical. And so as that thought is manifesting and growing, it's still in its growing stage. You project your consciousness into the subconscious mind and able to experience it. So when you go in there, you're seeing the thoughts that are manifesting to create your reality. So as you move in and you're seeing this, you're moving within yourself. So as you see a death in a dream, if you see an animal dead in a dream, it'll symbolize a habit that has transformed into something else, and so so a lot of times I'll talk about, what dreams are, and then we'll talk about the symbol. And then what I also always love to talk about at the end is what you want to do when you have a dream like this. So, because it's fun to experience dreams, especially lucid dreams. It's very important and key to write them down. It is extremely insightful and productive to interpret your dreams and understand what the message is and what your dreams are telling you, what your inner teacher, the lesson that your inner teacher has for you to pay attention to at this moment in your life. But all of that is not important. None of it matters if you don't apply that message. If I get a text from the bank and they tell me, hey, Tarak, it's $30,000 just got deposited into your bank. I got a new message. Bing, $30,000 deposited in my bank. Now, if I close that down and never use my bank card, never go to the bank or do nothing with those funds, then that message didn't even matter. It didn't matter whether it said $30,000 deposited into my bank or taken out, because I never did anything with the message. And so then I was not able to use the message and be more productive because of that message. So you want to apply the message into your life. And so with that, if you have a dream where someone is dying or something is trying to kill you, those are two very different dreams. But mostly you want to understand that there is some sort of inner change or inner transformation that's going on. And so what you will want to do, whether either one of those dreams that are occurring, you will want to sit down and create a clear picture in your mind. That might be done just by thinking about it. Maybe you sit down and just have a stream of consciousness writing, where you just sit down and write and write and write and don't stop for 20, 30 minutes. However it's done, you want to create a clear picture in your mind of who you want to become. Now, this can be something very little, like I want to be somebody who is on time. I want to be punctual. I'm always like 5 or 10 minutes late to everything. I want to be more punctual. It could be something like that, or it could be something like myself. I don't want to be confrontational. I want to be very easygoing, and I want to be approachable. And so, or maybe you're, like someone who likes being in social settings, but you don't really understand how to do that. So you want to learn how to be funny and crack jokes and, kind of be more engaging socially. So maybe you want to learn how to be funny or comedic, so maybe you want to change that. It can be anything, any different ways that you could want to change and want to be, but understand that the nature of the physical is change. So however you are, however you're changing, you're always going to be changing, and like everything in your life is changing. So when you have a dream like this, it is representative of there's some way that you're changing. And so you want to, by doing this, by writing it down or creating a clear picture in your mind, what is occurring is that you are now consciously in control of how you are changing versus unconsciously, because every thought seeks to manifest. We all create our own reality. Our thoughts create who we are. So if you are consciously thinking the thoughts that are creating who you are, then you're in more control of who you become, the life that you lead, the experiences that you have. Whereas if you're more unconscious to the thoughts that you think, then you're going to be at the mercy of the unconscious thoughts and beliefs that you hold within your mind, and that will be what creates who you are and who you become and the things that you experience. So concentration is key. Understanding your thoughts and being able to control your thoughts, and being able to hold your attention on a pure thought as long as you want, until it is impressed into your mind and comes out. So like last night I was sharing with someone about mantras. Mantras are very key, very vital, a very powerful tool. Talk about a tool for change. Mantras are a tool for change, because a belief is just a thought that you continue to think. So if you have a belief about yourself, before we get into that, hold on, see, Notorious One Strict said, how do you allow the change to happen? Push it to a subconscious level. That's beautiful. So that's what I use my lucid dreaming for, is because when you understand the universal language of the mind and you move into the dream, you can see the things that are changing and the things that are manifesting. And when you understand the universal language of mind, you understand how it's manifesting, or you understand different obstacles that are in the way of it manifesting. So you can interact with the dream in a way to help push that change, push that out into the physical and manifest. So it's a beautiful question. But essentially, what I was saying was that every thought seeks to manifest. So every belief is just a thought you continue to think. So our beliefs, whether they are positive or not, beliefs about ourselves, like for instance, I always use, because it's one that I did a lot of work on, is I had a belief of lacking money. I had a poverty consciousness. I always thought about not having enough money. I get a bill in the mail. I don't believe I have enough money. I get my check. Man, I wish it was more. I don't believe I have enough money to make it to the next check. My friends would be going out, hey, let's go do this. I don't believe I have enough money for that. So I had this strong belief of not having enough, and so I needed to change that. And in order to change that, like I said, a mantra is a very powerful tool for change, because what it does is it allows your thoughts It because a mantra is just a like a lot of people when they hear mantra, they think of like Om Mani Padme Hum, or something like that. It's Sanskrit, which is very powerful because it creates a certain vibration, and all of us are vibrations of sound and light. But I like to use English words because it ignites the conscious mind more, which engages the subconscious mind even better. Because the more you can create a clear picture and image, that's going to have a more powerful effect than just the vibration itself. So I would think a thought of I am worthy, I am valuable, because I knew that the reflection of my money, which symbolizes value, is a reflection of my inner worth and inner value. So I would think I am valuable, I am worthy, I am valuable, I am worthy, I am valuable, I am worthy. And I would think that over and over, because a belief is just a thought you continue to think. So if I wanted to counteract the thought of not being worthy and not being valued, not being worthy of having more money, not being valuable enough to be to have others value me and provide me with the type of money that I see myself as being worth, because my outer is going to reflect my inner. So I am worthy, I am valuable. That is going to be the belief. But the thing about a mantra versus like an affirmation, like a lot of people, which is good, affirmations are good. A lot of people say, I got this little post-it note on my mirror, and so every time I brush my teeth in the morning, I read it, and every time I brush my teeth at night, I read it. That's great. You did it two times more than you would have not thought it. But for me, with that thought, it was a powerful thought. Every time I walked out the house, I go and get gas, or I hop in the car. My gas tank is low. Oh my God, I don't have enough money for this. I look at the gas prices. Oh my God, I don't have enough money for this. That's already 2 times, and I haven't even reached a block down the street. Then I get to work. Oh my God, this is Monday. I got to work all this week just to be able to pay the bills. I don't want to be here, but I got to be here because I don't have enough. I go to lunch. Oh, man, I got to pay for lunch because I forgot to pack. I don't have enough. I got to, I get off of work. Now I got to go eat dinner. Before I even get out to dinner, my friends want me to go to the movies with them. Oh, man, I don't have enough money for this. I go to the grocery store to buy it. Man, every time there goes a steak, I don't have enough money for this. There goes some juice. I don't have enough money for that. I got enough money for tap water. I go past all this stuff. I don't have enough money for that. I don't have enough money for that. I only got enough money for these beans and this rice, and everything else I'm passing. I don't have enough money for that. So I've thought it 600-700 times. So what you have to do more than an affirmation is a mantra. You have to think over and over, I am worthy, I am valuable, I am worthy, I am valuable. So while you're walking through that store and walking to your beans and rice, instead of looking around everything else and unconsciously thinking, I don't have enough, I'm not valuable, I don't have enough, I don't have it. You're thinking consciously, I am worthy, I am valuable, I am worthy, I am valuable. As you're driving down the street, you're going to work, I am worthy, I am valuable, I am worthy, I am valuable. And this because the thought is just our belief is just thought you continue to think. So as you continue to think that, you will slowly build up that belief. And then the universal law of believing and knowing is that as you form a strong belief, it will create an experience for you. So as you formulate that stronger belief, it's going to slowly overpower that other thought. So what that's going to do is then shift and change and transform the experiences you have. So now all of a sudden, my boss asked me to come in. Hey, Tarak, we need to see you in the office real quick. And it's not the same as before, where before I started the mantra 2 weeks ago, I would have been sitting there thinking like, oh man, what did I do? I'm not going to get fired and have even less. But no, I've been thinking that thought. So I'm not even worried about it. I'm just wondering, why does he want to talk to me? Come in, hey, you've been working hard for years now. We've been noticing that, but he didn't call me 2 weeks ago. He only called me now. Wonder why. And we just want to give you a show of our appreciation. We don't have any other positions open, but we're going to give you this bonus of $2,000. Then all of a sudden, now my experiences are reflecting the change and transformation that I had internally, and it's now being expressed externally. So now my funds are happening, and I'm getting more cash. I mean, and these things are happening for me as I've done these changes. I've done through this specific work. But like I said, with everything, I don't want you to believe anything I'm saying. So don't believe me just because I'm saying it, but put it into practicing to your life in the ways that you need to see change for yourself, and see if it's true for you. Because I know that it's universal truth and a universal law, so I know it'll work for you. But you need to know that for yourself. Because like I said, the universal law of believing and knowing. You formulate a stronger belief, and then that belief will create an experience. And through the experience, you will know what is true and what is not. Because The difference between belief and knowledge is experience. You know, like people who aren't watching this might believe that this live stream is going on, or they might believe that it's still going on, but only you or I know that it is because we're experiencing it. So like Drew Duncan, let's see, he says, something you taught me is thought is cause. Writing down dreams. I will start this again. Thanks for that thought. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful, wonderful. Because I know dreams were always a powerful thing for you. And thought is cause. So it's a beautiful thing. I'm glad to hear that. And if you ever have one you want to talk about or understand a little bit more, have a question about, I know you have a basic understanding of the universal language of mind and able to interpret it for yourself. But if you ever have a question, feel free, brother. Feel free to reach out to me, contact me. I'll be more than happy to go over it with you, help you discover that. So it's beautiful. So with that, you know, the main thing you want to take with you when you have death come up in a dream is identify ways that you want to change and implement ways into your life to bring about that change. So, you know, maybe you want to change in certain ways and you can't really identify physical action or steps you can take to bring about that change. One thing that you can always do is internally start a mantra. Identify the thought that and belief that is behind what you're currently experiencing, and then discover the thought or belief that would be behind what you want to experience. So for me, it was knowing my worth and knowing my value. I am worthy, I am valuable. I said it 1,000 times. So like if it took me 100 times a day, saying it 100 times a day, if that was going to produce change for me in 5 months, then 100 times a day, every day for 5 months, it was going to produce a particular level of change. Well, that same level of change could have been produced in 2 weeks if I then said it 1,000 times a day, because I'm having that same thought said over the same, and it produces the same amount of level of change. So it'll shorten. If I'm saying it 10 times more in a day, then it's going to manifest 10 times faster. So you can take that 5 months of progress into 2 weeks if you just, you know, say it not just 100 times, but 1,000 times a day. And if you, it might sound like a lot, but really at that, I mean, I am worthy, I am valuable. 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 And you got to say it out loud. I mean, I did when I was driving in my car, but when I was around other people, I didn't. You know, if I was engaged in a conversation, then I gave that person my attention. But once that was over, I put my attention back on I am worthy, I am valuable. I don't do it all the time, but there's particular times where I'll take 2 weeks out and just practice a particular mantra, and it has amazing results. Because yeah, I say, you know, suggest you say it 1,000 times, but really I'm saying it more like 5,000 times a day, especially once I get closer to the end of 2 weeks and my mind just kind of gets to going on its own. I don't consciously do it, because then after about the end of 2 weeks, I'm able to do almost anything and be engaged, and it's just kind of running on its own in the back of my mind. I'm worthy, I'm valuable. I can have a conversation with somebody and it's just going in the back of my mind. I'm worthy, I'm valuable. It's beautiful, because that's how I know I'm done and complete with it, is because then it just takes off on its own. And so that's what I want to leave you all with. An understanding of what death symbolizes in a dream, ways to implement it into your life. And even if you aren't having this dream, you can still implement those things into your life, you know, and discover if they're true. So I'll leave you with that. If you want to know more about your dreams, check out the new book, Life is But a Dream. It's Understanding Yourself Through Understanding Your Dreams. It's available on Amazon, ebook, or paperback. You know, if you're somebody who likes dreams and things like that, you know, feel free to get on there, or you can get a physical copy from me if you're close by or want to get in touch. You know, as always, if you have more questions about dreams or want to know anything, feel free to leave a message on here. Shoot me a direct message. I'll be more than happy to share with you. You know, I might not get back to you right away, but I will get back to you and share with you an interpretation on the dream and things, or just answer any questions. It doesn't even have to be about dreams. You could just have a question about you know, concentration or how to increase your memory or anything like that. So you know, appreciate it. Appreciate y'all for joining in. I hope you were able to take something away from this, and it was supposed to be able to be of some type of value to you. So appreciate that. And as always, I leave you all in peace.